All right, let's get it, boys. We're back. We got week 2 of the mini season, and I'm just gonna hop right into it. As you can see here, we got our first UU game. Me and Graham. I wanted to show off a lot of the new Paradox Pokemon in this, along with the new ability that Gallade has with Sharpness. And as you can see from that, a new item as well. So my Brute Bonnet is holding a loaded dice, and basically that makes multi-hit moves always hit 4 to 5 times. I think it has a little bit higher percentage of hitting on the 4 side of that, but yeah, it makes multi-hit moves essentially just really high base power moves. So like a 25 base power move with loaded dice is either going to be a 100 or a 125 base power move. So like Bullet Seed coming off of Brute Bonnet, which already has a really good attack stat, into a 4-time resisted Mon, hitting 5 times, you know, did 21%. Not the best damage, but it's not bad by any means. So yeah, we'll just keep this rolling. This game, I was kind of struggling for position in this. Graham played really well. He prepped a lot more for this one than last week, is what he told me. And so here, I protect, figure out what he wants to go into in case he's choice locked. See Flash Cannon, I'm like, all right, I can go Gastrodon, and it does 34%. That actually did enough damage where I was like, okay, that's specs, that's not actually analytic. So I know Gastrodon can always come in on it, and I can kind of, if it's in on a Screamtail, I can protect and figure it out. I didn't want to get toxic there, but at the same time, I didn't want anything else on my team getting toxic. Iron Thorns was kind of expendable without getting rid of Quagsire, so I probably should have just got rid of it there, but it is what it is. Alright, Hyper Voice Sylveon. I see the lefties. I go for a Wish. Okay. Wish Protect is super common, especially this gen, not having all of the active recovery that we used to have with like Recover and Soft Foil. So if you're running Wish, it's very common that you're going to run Protect. And I mention that now because that's going to be pretty important later on in the game. And I can just Encore him into Wish there. If he went for the Protect, it was whatever, but preventing him from attacking me gives me a little free chip here on Magnezone, and I can scout, see what he goes for. Volt Switch. I'm like, all right, go Gastrodon, block your switch, and here I basically just have a free move, and so I called the double. I made the wrong double going into Screamtail there. I was anticipating, I think I was anticipating the Noivern. That would make sense, right? On the Gastrodon, yeah. So I thought he was going to go Noivern. I would be able to go into Screamtail and just get a free Dazzling Gleam off on something. Fortunately, he went into Quagsire, so I definitely did not want that getting toxic, so I went into something offensive. And I go for the Bullet Seed here, and I make a really aggressive play on the next turn. Probably unnecessary, but I go for the Terra Dark Sucker Punch, and he roosted. So he kind of read me there. It's all good. Game's not over, but Terra Dark plus Sucker Punch would have killed Noivern at that range, so it would have been nice to get that, and then I would have been able to just like spam Earth Power and Earthquake off of Iron Thorns and Quagsire, so. Rocks are pretty annoying. I do have Defog on Noivern though, I think. Big old crunch on the Noivern too, knowing he was going to preserve the Quag. Throw up the Wish. That still allowed me to get Brute Bonnet back in pretty safely. No matter what he went for there, Toxic, Earthquake, Surf, whatever, I was going to live and get the Wish back into it. Just trying not to over-predict or anything here. And then, thank God, I hit through the confusion. But I got rid of my grass typing, so I knew I would live the Hurricane there. Terra is really interesting. I've noticed in like the Boomer League, most of the time, it is better to do a defensive Terra than an offensive one. In my case, this game, it kind of worked both ways, which is perfect. But yeah, like being able to counter defensively in Draft League. Just makes more sense because you know what mons are coming. And it's kind of tough to get a good Terramon at the low point total and then be able to do something offensively with like a coverage move to really break through, since we don't have Terra Blast. Now, if Terra Blast was available, there's definitely an argument that offensive Terra would be better at that point, but you know, it's not the case. So I think people should kind of keep that in mind with how they're drafting their Terra captains. Probably a little more defensively oriented. The crit Sludge Bomb into poison, so I can't live a second one. Thanks, Hugulus Beam. You really clutched up for the team here. All right, so I know I can live a Sludge Bomb, and I can get rid of Gengar, so I go for the Psycho Cut there. And that is the turn that won me the game. It felt extremely safe that he would go for the Protect there instead of sacking it. His optimal play would have just been to get a Hyper Voice off and sack it, then go back into Gengar and then hit me with a Shadow Ball, because that's going to kill Brute Bonnet after rocks. Super effective into Scream Tail. It's going to blow up Noivern. But I had the feeling, because he had Wish, that he would have Protect as well. Felt pretty safe that he would want to get some leftovers recovery, and I made a really aggressive play. This literally could have lost me the game, but sometimes you got to take that coin flip, and this should just be a sweep from here. Goated coverage. Leaf Blade, Psycho Cut, Sacred Sword. Psycho Cut, even without him Terra ghosting there, was going to do like 240%, so after he got rid of his poison typing, still did, 120 min. Yeah, GG Graham, that was really, really, really fun. Had me in the blender with the positioning, but I was behind, so I kind of had to make that aggressive play, and it really paid off for me. In the end game there, probably the best play after letting me get the agility up is just go Colossal first and try to get the Flame Body, which actually did proc. You get that early. Now maybe I'm not Okoing Gengar after Terras, something like that. Still a tough position from there, but yeah, I guess that would have been the only counterplay. All right, going to OU here. Yeah, Dodge and Ty. Ty's got a really, it's a showcase team. We got the Booster Energy, Terrifying Acro, and Roaring Moon, doing so much damage to Great Tusk. I think Ty did want to show off the team a little bit more here, but I really feel like there's a chance that Roaring Moon could have just won the game later on. We'll show you that when it comes, but good switch to Rotom here. Handles Tusk totally fine with the Willow. Now that the leftovers are gone on Rotom, that's just permanent damage. No recovery otherwise, and there's no Wish Passers on Dodge's team. Okay, boys. Big learning moment here. Don't go for a Protect in front of an Orthworm. Dodge didn't know. I'm not trying to flame him or anything, but just a heads up, if anybody drafts a Cyclizar or a Orthworm in the league, don't go for a Protect in front of it. Also, I'm sure Dodge was just kind of scouting what he was doing with that Protect, but you lost your leftovers. I think Protect is a really bad move in singles unless you're pairing it with Wish. I think it has its niche cases otherwise. Rotom using it to get extra leftovers recovery, that I can see that with the lack of Pain Split this generation, but I think you'll be better off if you just get away from running Protect in singles. I very, very rarely run it. And if I do, it's almost always with a Wish Passer. Ty messed up his EVs there, so he had an odd number when he belly drummed and didn't actually get a Citrus Berry, but it doesn't really matter because the Drain Punch pulled him back up to 72% anyway. I don't know if EQ was actually going to kill Iron Hands there, but it would have at least put it in range for Sarrow Ledge to revenge kill. Okay, yeah, so it was at this point. because I think the only thing Dodge had to attack Roaring Moon was Ruination. And that miss does suck. Maybe putting it in Shadow Sneak range. Probably in Shadow Sneak range. Another thing, now we can't Terra Garganackle in the league because it's too many points, but defensive, really bulky defensive mons, you want to use a different Terra type than what your base type is to kind of maximize your resistances. So at that point, him going for Terra Rock Salt Cure was just get more damage down and make sure he killed Roaring Moon. He didn't really need it because of the passive damage anyway, but Roaring Moon was also probably just going to kill him with Earthquake at that point. Would have needed like a Shadow Sneak from Saraledge, so I think that would have been the right switch in instead of going into Garganackle on that turn. But yeah, I think Tide also is just trying to show what some of the other mons can do. There's the Citrus Berry finally proccing. Dodge, assuming Tide was going to switch out, going for the knockoff there. Okay, so did 57%. Yeah, Ty would have lived earlier on if he just stayed in, but possibly fearing a Headlong Rush out of Great Tusk that would have killed. Jolly Saraledge being faster. Okoing Goldango didn't actually get to see what it could do. Garganackle sack. Yeah, maybe he's not running Shadow Sneak, but going Saraledge and sneaking Roaring Moon. Roaring Moon does not have a good base defense. It probably would have died. But Iron Leaves. Getting the Photosynthesis on the attack and then the speed boost. It's a spicy mon we got here. I like that set. You kind of have to take some speed out. Don't run max speed. That way you can boost your attack with booster energy and then you just make up for it with Trailblaze. That's a pretty cool set. I'm still, yeah, like Ty has it here, 16-ish points. I'm not totally sold that it's 16. It might be more like 17. I think 16 is definitely like the floor for it, but it's not used enough in OU right now to really know where its ceiling is, especially without like electric terrain support. But obviously booster energy is really solid on it, and yeah, it's definitely a good offensive mon. All right, NU. I'm going to go through this kind of quick because this was a meme game. Just a bunch of funny sets. You guys can enjoy this. I'm not going to pause it at all. The Fling Light Ball to get the para, and then the Switcheroo to just take the lefties. It's just a BM set. The spirit of this game, which I think Berg definitely stayed within with the team builder, it was to use usually useless moves or like weaker moves in general. And like with Berg, a couple of his moves were in like the useful category, but the spirit was still there. It was just making mons really, really bad. Strength Sap, awesome move. The para flinch hacks, love to see it. Air Slash being the usually useless moves is like kind of weird to me. It's like generally most flying types' favorite move to click. Power Herb Dig, love to see it. Just gonna go fast here. Tricking or switcherooing a light ball and then tricking a flame orb. Just so nasty. And then this is the passive Caporaja with the best Whirlwind RNG of all time. Tommy can't really switch out because whatever ends up getting pulled in is going to take rocks. So if he switches out a Drift Limb and it gets pulled right back, like how it seems to have been getting pulled back. That way, Tommy went for the Terror Steel, so he didn't take as much rocks damage because he knew it was coming back at some point. And this just kept cycling Darkspun to Dunsparce, Drift Limb. Like, what are we doing? Blunder Policy Sing. You know, the most meta of Chansey sets. All Mine doing a fat 11% at +2. Yeah, Bindle going for the Terra Fighting. We had a conversation about that. Should have been Terra Fairy. Also, unnecessary to Terra at that point. But it's alright. It's a meme game. So Tommy's up Mons, but he's still got to deal with this Copper somehow. And really, the way he deals with it is getting Metacham in. Or going for the dig and forcing Rotom in. That's also a good one. Okay. We're just flying through this. Anyway, hopefully you guys are enjoying the mini season and learning some stuff here. I'm ready for the draft, man. I'm ready. But we'll try to figure something out to keep it spicy during the season too. That way we're not too burnt out or anything. I like the meme game idea. I really like the building for somebody else idea. Makes you just kind of like... makes you think more. Finally, Metacham comes in and is able to kill Copperaja. And then Basculin, Endure, red card. Spidops. Faint. So sad. Could have been the flail sweep, but unfortunately that was not the case, and Chansey's got quite the task here, getting Skitter smacked so it can't do any damage, and just kind of finish this out, and Spidops wins. So yeah, that was a funny game. Enjoyed it. Enjoyed it greatly. Alright, we got the most anticipated rematch. And Toxtricity goes down turn 1. I didn't really get to watch this game, so this is going to be kind of fresh for me. I mean, just trade no-cos. This is wild. Primeape comes in. It's a problem. No ifs, ands, or buts. Cordel going for the Rage Fist right off rip is a little risky. Especially considering he could have just Brave Birded or Hurricaned on that first turn. I'd love me some Flame Charge Charizard. If you know, you know. Yup, there it is. Oh, and it died to Brave Bird. Alright, aggressive. Really aggressive. Boomburst doing 30. It's got to be Specs. Okay, Rain Dance for the Floatzel. I see ya. Intimidate, yup. Not gonna eat that, though. Oh, Belly Bolt. What a beast. Belly Bolt's such a weird mon. I don't like it at all. Like, that is not gonna be on my team, but it's kind of cool. Overdrive, knowing it would pick up Belly Bolt at that range. Now we have a boosted Rage Fist. There we go. That's a 150 base power Rage Fist at this point. As you can see, that does way more damage that time. Defiant. Yeah, there it is. Yep, Primate's just a bunch of BS. That got bumped up in the points. Ooh. Don't think you live the Rage Fist. Oh, you do. Oh. But not faster. And this should be a Primeape sweep. Yeah, I don't know how that mon's in RU. Like, it feels like it could definitely play in UU and just be fine, even OU. Like, Rage Fist is just a bunch of BS. Really cool set, though. Bulk Up, Rage Fist, Drain Punch, and Taunt. Yeah, awesome. And I'm not going to go over the random battle game. I know, Joe, you're going to be in my mentions, being like, oh, you didn't talk to me. Yeah, I didn't. I'm sorry. But yeah, I feel like I'm not providing too much insight in random battles, so we'll just kind of stick to the main tiers here. But yeah, GG's everybody. Let's get these matches done for week 3, and then we're drafting right around the corner. What is it? A week and a half from now, we got the draft. Let's freaking go, baby. I'm pumped. We're back. All right, boys. I'll catch you. Peace.